She smiled at him, touched his arm, and said four simple words. "I'll be right back." That was the last thing Mike heard before she disappeared into a crowd of 20,000 people at a sold-out U2 concert, with tickets he fought to get, just for her. But what she didn't know, he would use those exact same four words to end everything in the most brutally satisfying way possible. If you've ever been strung along, underestimated, or treated like you were just an option, this story is going to hit different. So hit that like button, subscribe, and settle in, because this might be one of the most satisfying, perfectly executed revenge stories you'll hear today. Mike wasn't the kind of guy girls noticed first. He wasn't loud. He wasn't flashy. He didn't have that effortless confidence that fills a room. But he was kind, thoughtful, the type of guy who remembered your favorite coffee order and actually meant it when he asked how your day was. And for months, maybe longer, he had a serious crush on her. You know the type. The beautiful, magnetic, effortlessly popular girl. The kind who walked into a room and conversations paused. The kind who always had plans, always had options, always had people orbiting around her. She never rejected Mike outright. No, that would have been cleaner. Instead, it was always, "I'm busy that night. Maybe next weekend? I'll let you know." She never slammed the door in his face. She just kept it slightly open. And Mike held on to that crack of hope like it was oxygen. Looking back, it was obvious she liked the attention, the validation, the safety of knowing someone genuinely adored her. But Mike didn't see that. He just saw possibility. One afternoon, fate handed Mike what felt like a miracle. A friend had 2 tickets to a completely sold-out U2 concert. An emergency came up. He couldn't go. He offered them to Mike. Mike bought them instantly. This wasn't just a concert. This was an opportunity. He called her immediately. She answered. And when he told her about the tickets, she didn't hesitate. "I'd love to go." For the first time, she sounded excited. Mike felt like he'd just won the lottery. All week he floated. He planned what he'd wear, cleaned his car, replayed imaginary conversations in his head where she'd laugh at his jokes, lean into him during slow songs, maybe even hold his hand. Maybe this would be the night everything changed. The arena buzzed with energy. Lights dimmed. The air smelled like popcorn and anticipation. They found their seats. Amazing view. Perfect angle. She looked incredible. Mike could barely focus. His heart was pounding. This was it. Then, about 10 minutes before the show started, she stiffened. "Oh, I see my friend," she said, already standing up. "I'll be right back." She didn't wait for his response. She disappeared into the sea of bodies. Mike smiled awkwardly to himself. No big deal. She'll be back in a minute. The lights went down. The crowd roared. The band came out. And she never returned. At first, Mike kept glancing over his shoulder. Then he started texting. "Hey, show starting. You good? Where are you?" No response. His stomach started to twist. But he didn't move from his seat. Because if she came back, that's where she'd look for him. So he sat there. Through every song. Through every encore. Alone. While thousands of people screamed lyrics around him. Every love song felt like a joke. Every spotlight felt like it was exposing him. The guy who brought a date, who didn't care enough to come back. By the time the show ended, he was numb. Still, he waited. Because he was raised to be a gentleman. Because maybe something happened. Because maybe he was wrong. But when the crowd thinned, and the janitors started sweeping, and her phone kept going to voicemail, he finally left. The drive home was silent. And that's when the hurt settled in. Not just embarrassment, not just disappointment, but humiliation. He had been optional, disposable. She called the next day around noon, cheerful, apologetic. "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I ran into my ex and we started talking and we worked through a lot of stuff and I totally lost track of time. Can you believe I missed the concert?" Missed the concert. As if that was the tragedy. Mike listened quietly. She didn't ask how he felt. She didn't ask if he waited. She didn't ask if he was okay. She just talked. And here's the part that surprised everyone. Mike forgave her. Calmly. Easily. He even asked, "Maybe we could try again?" She softened instantly. "That's so sweet of you. I totally underestimated you." Underestimated. That word stuck in his head. Something changed in Mike after that call. It wasn't loud. It wasn't dramatic. It was quiet. Controlled. He wasn't yelling. He wasn't venting. He was thinking. He replayed that concert night in his mind. The empty seat. The glowing stage. The four words. "I'll be right back." She thought he'd just accept whatever scraps of attention she threw him. She thought he'd always be there. Safe. Predictable. Waiting. And that's when the plan formed. The following Saturday, Mike invited her to dinner. Not just any dinner. An upscale seafood restaurant an hour up the coast. White tablecloths. Ocean view. The kind of place where menus don't have prices listed next to the entrees. She was thrilled. He was charming the entire drive. Polite. Engaging. Confident. If anything, he seemed elevated. More composed. More assured. She probably thought the concert incident had proven something, that he was loyal, forgiving, dependable. They arrived. He had made the reservation. In her name. They were seated. They ordered a very expensive bottle of wine. Oysters. Lobster. The works. She laughed. Flipped her hair. Soaked in the attention. Mike watched. Calm. Present. Patient. The bill was climbing. And then, right after they placed their entree orders, he dabbed his mouth with a napkin and stood up. "I'm going to run to the restroom," he said gently. Then he smiled. "I'll be right back." He didn't rush. Didn't look back. He walked past the hostess stand. Through the front doors. Into the cool night air. Each step felt lighter than the last. He reached his car. Unlocked it. Sat down. And, just for a moment, paused. He imagined her at the table. Checking her phone. Glancing around. Waiting. Assuming he'd return. 10 minutes pass. Then 15. The wine glasses half empty. The servers starting to notice. The realization slowly creeping in. He started the engine and drove away. We later heard what happened. She waited almost 30 minutes before asking the server if they'd seen him. They hadn't. She tried calling. No answer. Texted. Nothing. The staff eventually brought the bill. Reservation in her name. Card on file? None. She had to pay. All of it. The wine. The appetizers. The entrees. Everything. An hour away from home. Humiliated. Abandoned. Underestimated. Exactly how Mike had felt in that arena. Except this time, it was intentional. When she finally reached him the next day, furious, he calmly said, "Oh, I ran into something unexpected and lost track of time." Silence. Then he added, "I guess now we're even." And he hung up. Sometimes revenge isn't loud. It isn't explosive. It's quiet, precise, balanced. She thought he'd always be waiting. She thought he didn't have the spine to walk away. But the moment he stopped chasing her, was the moment he took his power back. If this story gave you that sweet, satisfying sense of justice, hit that like button. Tell me in the comments, was Mike justified or did he go too far? And don't forget to subscribe for more stories of betrayal, karma, and perfectly executed revenge. Because sometimes, I'll be right back means something very different.